Welcome, curling fans from across Ontario and around the world, to another entertaining broadcast of live curling right here on Title Sports Live. This morning we have live coverage of the men's Recharge with Milk Tankard coming to you from the Canada Summit Centre in Huntsville, Ontario. We are approximately 250 kilometers north of Toronto and ready for this 91st championship. My name is Ian Tetley, and I am joined by my esteemed colleague Mary Chilvers, a two-time former Ontario Scotties representative and runner-up in the 1997 Scotties to Sandra Schmirler. Well, Mary, today's feature match is going to have Mike McLean from the Naven Curling Club in Ottawa up against Joe FRANS from the Oakville Curling Club in Oakville, Ontario. I think we're in for a real battle here. Obviously, these guys both have one loss in this competition, and they both want to sort of keep themselves alive on the B side. Mary, what do you expect from these two teams?
Yeah, that's right, Ian. Actually, everybody out here today is playing in the B side, so everyone's going to be really wanting to win this game. So we've got Team McLean here, skipped by Mike McLean. We have third Jason Cam, Kevin Ladjaquist is the second, and Nathan Crawford plays lead for this team from the Naven Curling Club.
You know, Mike's team, they've been playing out in the tour this year. They currently have about 19 wins and 16 losses, kind of a 50% team. But you know what, they're here, and this is, I believe, their second provincial championship, and yep. You know, they want to prove themselves. So then we've got Joe FRANS, kind of a veteran of the provincial championship. He's obviously been to the Brier before playing with Wayne Madaw, but now I know he's lost a provincial championship 3 years ago up in Barrie, so he wants to prove himself. Obviously, he's got a new team with Mike Anderson, reigning Canadian mixed champion, Scott Foster, as well as Sean Harrison. You know, he's got a good veteran lineup here, so I kind of expect the veterans to kind of show their true colors here. Obviously, this is the second game this weekend that we've shown of Joe FRANS. They snuck by. Who did they sneak by, Mary, in that first game?
That first game, it was
Sebastian Robillard.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think, and they're back on this same sheet. So, well, for one, it's a little bit of an advantage. They kind of know the rocks, they know the ice, and I'm expecting a great game here.
Yeah, I agree, and. You say Mike Anderson is the reigning mixed champion, as well as Sean Harrison, the lead on this team. Yeah, lots of experience for the FRANS team, so I have not seen much of the McLean boys play myself.
Well, we're just finishing off practice, and it looks like on the draw to the button that Mike McLean came up short of the ring, so the FRANS team will have the hammer in the first end. Not an auspicious way to start is when you've got your 7 minutes of practice, and then your skip comes short of the rings. I think you want to send them to the box to feel shame. Like, yeah. That's,
And we're just about to get started here. This third draw at the men's Tankard.
Obviously, this format this year being a triple knockout, the A-side semifinalists games will go this afternoon at 2:30. That will come to you live on Title Sports Live. That will have John Epping up against Mark Bice, and also you'll see Mark Keane up against Glenn Howard. Jesus, faux pas. Sorry, Glennie. Three other games going on here this morning aside from our feature matchup. You're going to see Wayne Tuck's team up against Cody Moss. Sebastian Robillard will play Greg Baldston. Our feature game, and then on the other outside sheet here, we're going to have Rob Retchless up against Richard Krell. So all these games this morning, the losers will fall down onto the C side, and we'll have one life left. But all these guys are going to be hungry this morning. You know, it's kind of exciting this year. Like, you know, last year we had the round robin, and you kind of go through the. Sometimes it gets to be a little bit monotonous playing that round robin, and this year now every game means something.
It certainly does, yeah. And these guys, it's a little early to be dropping down to the seaside. Then their back is up against the wall, so they're going to be playing hard out here today. Although two teams will come out of the seaside, and someone's got to win those at the Scotties this year. The team that won lost her first 2 games at the competition. So she was in the Seaside from the 3rd game on, and she rattled off 6 straight wins. So it can be done.
You know, the McLean teams had a half-decent season. You know, I see that they in Gatineau they ended up in the they were semi-finalists there. In the Moosehead Fall Open, they're obviously they came 5th there. The Stucells they did not qualify there, but then they also played in Cookstown. So, team that actually gets out there and actually travels, which is a rarity these days, is that because not a lot of guys will go out there and play 6 or 7 cash spiels. But the McLean team has definitely done that.
Yes.
Joe FRANS, obviously kind of the veteran team that they didn't play much, if any, of this fall. I think they played 2 events, and then they ended up coming through the challenge round. Challenge round being the last chance opportunity to get to the provincial championship.
Well, it opened up this provincial championship when they accepted 12 teams in this thing now. So it was always, I believe, was it 8 or 10, Ian?
Yeah, historically it's been either 10 or 11.
Yeah. Just about to start this 3rd draw here of the Tankard.
Yeah, McLean team will have the yellow rocks this game, and FRANS team obviously throwing the blue. Each team will get 38 minutes of thinking time. Obviously, the time when he goes into effect when the other team, the opponent's stone has come to rest, and until your player has crossed the back line and the rock is in play. They'll also be allowed 2 timeouts.
We showed the FRANS team here yesterday afternoon, and he was a little short on time by the end of that game, Ian. Well,
I'm sure the little change in the lineup with the FRANS team. They had a 5-man. They've got a 5-man team, and they had Kevin Flewelling in the game yesterday playing second, and Scott Foster playing lead. This morning we're seeing Scott Foster at second and Sean Harrison at lead.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Not easy when you have a 5-man team, but some teams make it work.
32-year-old Sean Harrison, native of Newmarket, Ontario.
Oh, not a good start for Sean.
That's kind of why I've got to break it in, right?
Well, it's interesting how in practice the teams kind of they kind of throw up and down the sides towards the button, sort of in preparation for their draw to the button, and then all of a sudden you get the hammer, and then nobody's thrown down the center line.
Exactly.
And I think that's why Sean gets a little embarrassed there, because his rock traveled barely halfway down the sheet.
Yeah. No, it's so true. The teams forget that no one has thrown down the center line during practice time.
Well, the irony of it is if he was over another foot or so, you know, that rock could have been in the back 4 foot.
Right. Yeah.
Nate Crawford making a nice come around there to the back of the 4 foot. Joe not going to take any chances and try to remove this stone and kind of roll to the wing. Waiting for it to make a move here. I think he's got fresh air.
Just a little wide, according to Joe.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't try to directionally sweep that one at all. It's the one time when the pebble is the highest, and it's probably most effective.
Line's good. Whoa, room.
Top 4. Top 4. Looks like lots. Trying. Still tapping it there.
Kevin Lagerquist trying to get another one socked in there. 27-year-old native from Brampton.
It is like the fourth rock zone there, so.
Joe's going to need Mr. Scott Foster
I don't think you got
here.
room for the double.
Try to get to the
Board.
inside. You know, in talking with the ice makers yesterday, they kind of realized that their center lines were still a little bit maybe high in their view, so it wasn't curling as much to the centers. It was yesterday. It was curling about 3.5 feet, and then the wing it was going about it was good 5 feet to the 4 to 5 feet to the wings.
Okay.
All right, throw it up, bud.
Yeah.
Don't stick it around.
Well, that's a really good miss by Scott Foster. He removes the center guard, but remains third shot in the rings.
You're back 4 on that one.
So McLean's going to ignore that blue rock over there and just put up another guard.
Well, they're in pretty good
Halfway.
position right now. Obviously, they want to
Halfway.
guard that rock on the center line.
Nate. 3. Weight's good now. Here. Right there. Nate. A little higher than the logos. Right. Tight. Tight. Yep. Go. Hard, real hard.
Well done by Kevin Lagerquist. Gets that guard on there perfectly.
Or run it back. It curls up.
If I know Scott Foster, he's taking a real run at running this thing back.
Close. Yep.
Nate.
Whoa.
Nate. There's a gripper mark there off the center line.
It's good.
Well, the only sad part about that thing is that at the end of the end, that rock might be in the way and then for his draw to the button.
Right.
You're making like fatal mistakes. It's just like not the right weight in the right spots, or it's heavy or whatever.
Those two guys, Sean's back way there.
Yeah, I know, but that's we should know no one's throwing anything down the middle.
Line's good. Line's good. Line's nice. Line's okay. Not too tight, Kev. Way to wait.
Joe kind of sending the message along to Mike Anderson there, just about Sean's miss. It just that was the real amateur miss when you're throwing a hack weight, a rock behind the guard.
Yeah.
I was taught at a real young age by Ricky Lang and Al Hackner. That was called the ugly miss, and you never wanted the ugly miss.
Yeah, the pro side miss would have at least to tick the guard out of play.
Whoa.
Mike Anderson, he's had a great season so far, winning the Canadian Mixed Championships.
Okay.
His team of Danielle Inglis, Sean Harrison, and Lauren Harrison.
Line's good, though. Yep. Not too hard, Kevin. You got to go. Okay, go then. Nate, you got to take
Jason
it.
Cam,
Nate,
I'm sure
it.
this is the brother of Matt
Nate,
Cam.
yeah.
Their deliveries are almost identical too, aren't they?
You know what? I just thought the exact same thing as he was coming out of the hack. Oh, there's another hogged rock. Guys are getting a little fooled on the draw weight.
Wow.
Not happy with that.
Unfortunately, they had everything going their way, and now all of a sudden momentum shifts over to the FRANS team, and Mike Anderson's got the opportunity to
go out there?
make the double takeout.
Firm. Whoa.
Nice shot by Mike.
Pretty quiet.
That's a great shot.
Try to roll under it. 5.
Hose is horrible though. You could have rolled next.
Throw.
Wow.
Getting a little off the line.
I don't know what
it's curl, right? So that's
Should
kind of
run
why
fairly
it's
good. Yeah.
Make sure you tell me if you prefer a turn, right? Like there's a big difference between you asking which one or, I was hoping to play the other.
You know, they make a very valid point. Obviously, every player's got a preferred turn, whether it be in turn or the out turn. Like even here from Mike McLean here, you know, he's watched about 4 out turns go down this line. And I think pundits would say that you should probably go with what you know versus what you don't. So he's guessing here a little bit, but he's going to try to make the hit and roll in behind cover and or even right over and make the double takeout.
Clean. Just clean it. On the nose. Hey.
Came down a lot, eh?
Hold it in there. He'll probably hit that.
Right. Yeah.
So decision now whether he wants to roll behind cover or just roll to the open side.
Well, the issue is if you nose it, it gives Mike the opportunity to make that hit and roll again. The fact that he just threw it, he'll know the spot that much better.
He can, like, sort of has a catcher on that blue, so roll one way or another. But I'm just thinking if I know, I'm thinking roll. I'm rolling it. Because we get behind there, it's like. Stay close. Close. Yeah. Yeah.
Looking good, right on line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think Mike gave up on that one. He thought it was going to roll out.
Doesn't curl a lot there.
Oh, well, that's
Doesn't curl a lot.
it's a pretty good half shot, considering he was trying to roll the other way.
Yeah.
Doesn't curl much.
Firm. By firm.
Leaving there.
Well, this is going to give Mike McLean the opportunity to hit this outside stone, and if he hits and he rolls towards center, he'll be buried behind cover and shot stone.
Maybe a nice roll here. We can force him.
And if he does that, he's going to end up forcing Joe to make the draw to just take his single point.
See what it does here. Typically, it's been running very straight out here in the wings with any kind of hit weight.
Well, this is one of those stones that about 3/4 way down the ice, it may hit some fresh pebble. So unless they're ready for it.
Yep. Whoa.
Well, that's kind of a half shot that he won't be happy with here in the first end, and it's going to give Joe Franz the opportunity to basically hit the paint and score 2 points here in the first end and get a nice little jump.
Yeah, nice to score those 2 points in the first end of play here.
Yeah, but they're throwing tighter spinners.
Joe not sure of the draw weight here.
Yeah.
Conferring with the front end.
Well, it's the same sort of challenge as that if you think about the path where all the rocks were thrown and the draws to the button, and especially practice on the home end. I got his split time at 4:07 from backline to hog, so we'll see if that's enough. That's about 4:07. That's like 15 and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're going to have to go hard.
All right, you got it.
Just needs a good bite of the 12-foot.
Yeah, good guess.
And he definitely gets that. So it's going to be a score of 2 points for Joe Franz here in the first end. After that first end of play, 2-0 Joe Franz over Mike McLean.
Yeah, a bit of a turnaround there with Mr. Cam there hogging that guard.
Oh,
that was the turnaround for sure. Jason Cam.
They had Joe's team in trouble the whole end. Like
yeah.
you know, like the skip by Sean, and then Scott wasn't capable of removing any rocks from play either. So.
Yeah.
Only one other game has the first end completed, and the game between Rob Retchless and Richard Krell. The first end was blanked. And as usual, Wayne Tuck and Cody Moss have got lots of rocks in play. Sean Harrison putting the first rock right on the button, which is well executed. And now Nate Crawford here.
You guys had to hit it all the way, right?
Just being asked to throw up the corner guard.
You got it, guys. Come on. Good sweep. Good sweep. I thought my hit might catch like that far out, might catch and just kind of go.
Well done. Now this is sort of an interesting shot here, because he can Sean can either go right into the rings or even just throw it short tight, and that ends up being the control rock.
It's going to be in a slower track now.
Yeah, he called it for short.
Right here.
Well, just because now for Mike McLean's team, they've got only have access to this stone on one turn.
Perfect shot.
But the tight rock ends up being the control stone.
Right.
You're doing the good stuff now.
Yeah, a lot of people would have put that second rock in the house, but that does give the McLean team some opportunities for hits and rolls behind the guard.
Well, they could even jiggle some rocks around. They weren't pressured at that point to have to make anything big.
Like to go.
Nate Crawford being asked to make the out turn freeze.
Like to go. Only Kevin. All the way. All the way.
Beautiful shot.
Hard. Real good.
Well swept too.
Just bounce it a couple feet. Bounce it a foot.
Yep. Yep. Hopefully that should be good.
Scott Foster going to come down here, try to freeze it back on the nose again.
Oh, easy. Looks heavy. A lot of line.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to be here is heavy. Like his miss here is just short. Even in the top 12 foot is fine.
Got a curl. Got a curl. Yeah, that's
That
fine.
difference in weight, eh? The hair off.
If you can, Mike.
Yep. At the end of it.
Yeah, just set the weight.
Well done by Scott Foster.
That really moved a lot in the last couple of feet there, Ian.
Wow, it went sideways.
It did. You know, and I think that's what I've seen here all week so far anyways, is if you up the weight at all, especially draw weight, it tends to hang, but you got to kind of have that precise draw weight to get the curl.
A little more than you.
Kevin Lagerquist going to try to come down here and just rearrange the furniture a little bit.
Whoa, no time. T-line.
Line's getting better.
Just. Close. Better now. Weight's good. Frozen.
Yep.
Frozen.
Hard. Right here.
15-3 on that. This may over curl on them.
Good.
I think now, Joe, you can just even throw a guard. Well, Mary, I got to make a big shout out here. Actually, an old friend by the name of Peggy Barrett came by, and she's retiring as a principal of a school here in Huntsville this week, and she's brought a bunch of A bunch of curlers, young curlers from the public school out today. And they've been learning about curling for the last 2 months through floor curling and rocks and rings program at their school. And then she finally had them out at the Huntsville Curling Club. So, and she said it was really interesting just because they had, you know, they kind of got it from the floor curling to when they actually went into the actual curling club. They understood that only if they had the hammer that they had the advantage.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. So we've got 4 schools out here today that are actually grade 4s, 5s, and 6s from VK Greer Public School, Riverside Public School, Pine Glen Public School, and Spruce Glen Public School. Unfortunately, Huntsville Public School couldn't join them, but
Heel. Yep. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Roll the shooter. Okay.
Mike McLean team's going to have to make some sort of run through to really rearrange those rocks.
You want to guard leg right here?
It's all right.
That looks heavy.
Does that mean you guys just call my show date?
Got it. Want to get this side of the line. Yeah, it looks here almost. Where?
Say again?
Yeah.
Well, Mike Anderson's not going to be happy with this. Well, at least it ends up in a reasonable spot, but for a guard, that's definitely not where he wanted that, Mary.
So Mike's going to move things around here now.
Jason, you mean?
Sorry. Yes, Jason.
Yep. Whoa, yep. Hard. Yep. Real hard. 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 Gotta go. Hard.
He really softed this turn.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, that was. He had the great opportunity there to actually. I'm surprised that even the weight that he didn't throw any weight at that.
Yeah.
No, he just threw it opposite of what we were.
Well, Jason's struggling a little bit here so far in this game. Doesn't seem quite comfortable out there.
Well, it's the second end of the game, and they had both teams had a 7-minute practice.
Yeah.
So the ice might be getting into that
Looks really tight
zolenite
again.
stage of being really, really quick.
It's all. We can't do anything with it. Just let it die.
Yeah, Mike's throwing that 15-6. 15-6 should be into the ring, so the only beauty of that is I think now Mike McLean can nose that stone, probably make a double on the blues and keep a couple of his yellows in there, maybe 3 of his yellows in there.
Same weight.
That's that was not a good attempt by Mike Anderson.
Quick there. It must be kind of just trying to slow it down. You know, they're curling a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like when you're slowing down and then curling.
Jason Cam here. Oh God, this is critting on him too.
I don't know. What do you think here?
What are you thinking, Mary?
Well,
I'm just thinking it.
they did roll another yellow
Like,
rock
this
into
is
the rings there,
probably
so
gonna
I
be
think
hitting
FRANS
this, right?
has to be careful here.
If he hits this,
Probably.
it just bounces it around. I think we just hit this one, let him do something, and see what we get. Yeah, I think that's the shot. Well, yeah, he kind of got that, but that's just for one, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want to bring it up because like a nose there was still pretty good.
A little less, Mike.
Yeah, Joe's not going to take any chances right now, just in case. Like
I
he
think
can
it's
hit.
gonna be real straight
hit this this rock in the top 12-foot, hit and roll in front of the other stones. To me, that would probably be position A.
Yeah.
The angles are actually pretty good for him. You know, Mike can get rid of the end up getting rid of the back blue stone and becoming shot rock, but then at that point he becomes vulnerable.
Right.
So they may just exchange stones here, and it might be a point for McLean, but you know they still have to make their shots.
Close, yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Hard. Hard.
Oh my God, that's he put it back in the same spot, and that's it's the only angle you didn't want to leave, because it's if Mike hits this,
I think that room, I'm going to throw it harder.
you know,
Just off nose. Yeah, little roll.
Yeah,
he could make a triple here. I just let's go back to the overhead, and we'll just kind of see where he's going to hit this this blue stone onto the yellow stone.
And I was kind of thinking that spot was. There's been a few.
There you go. Yeah, the yellows. If he hits the top blue stone on directly back onto the yellow stone, and then the yellow stone is going to remove the other blue, you're going to have. You're definitely going to have. You could have 3 yellows in there and only 1 blue left.
This one's over
Funny,
curling
this side of the sheet seems to be.
It does. I've seen lots of over curl on that side.
Well, it did not
Well.
jiggle shot stone.
What's he got? This is guard it.
Yeah, but it's hard to roll when we throw the first 2 soft and it curls a bit.
All right.
That one I think, yeah. But I'm saying, like, yours was like a little soft, and Jason's first one was soft. And like as you guys know, like
What
sometimes
do you
it's
mean?
just
I could just peel it out.
So like when I have nothing to judge.
Oh, right.
Sure.
Yeah. He's got that for 3, right?
Yeah, of course he does.
So like this, it's a nose hit for 2, so we kind of almost got to give that to him. Like we could guard it, but you give him that. Where could we go then? What out? No.
That's good.
Oh, like the double hit this and then.
That's just like I didn't get a good.
Well, they got all 4 of them.
Yeah, it's an easy 2 because this one's never
All 4 of them involved in this
Yeah.
one. See, the problem is that there's 2 shots available for Mike McLean. If Joe throws the guard, he's got the angle run in on his own yellow for a possible 3. Mind you, that is really, really sharp.
Yeah.
Trying to hit that and stick it is extremely difficult. You know, Joe's thinking, well, if I hit that top yellow and then even roll over and jiggle the angles around, maybe he's got a difficult shot to get 2 points.
Quarter or something, but I don't think that would be good. I was just thinking to hit it through here. It's firm, right? We could guard it. If you knew how to get there with what weight. Huh? Well, I think we ripped this through the hole then.
You know, everybody's concerned at this point in the game, like Joe's up 2-0, and so he's kind of playing the scoreboard, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, I think this is a good call. He's going to hit the yellow one. Try to roll in front of the other ones. I mean, if he gives up 2, he gives up 2. He does not want to give up 3, though.
Yeah. Oh, correct. Like he's going to have to. I think these center lines are a little bit fickle. We've seen on the in-turn side that it's moving a little bit, and the out-turn side's really, really straight.
Yeah.
Lean it.
So that'll give Mike McLean a shot here for 2 points.
Well, now I guess the question is if he hits this on the nose, do the 2 yellows hang around for 2 points, or does one of the yellows squirt out and he only gets 1? I'm pretty sure it's going to fait complete that he's going to get Mike's going to score here.
What if he throws just kind of a control weight at it, Ian, to make sure that the 2 yellows stick around?
Oh, you
Well, I
mean
think that's
off
what he's going to try to do. I think
Curl, yeah. That's what I'm worried
his margin for error here is actually, it's pretty big. Like, I think even if he hits it half a rock across the face on this blue because he's throwing the intern,
Yeah.
I fully expect that as long as it's a controlled weight, that both yellows will stick around for 2 points.
Now, this is the spot where we've seen it curl, so
If I was Joe Albin, might have been a little bit more of a gambling man. I think I might have thrown the guard up there.
Yeah.
And said, okay, you know what, you make the run in, good for
Yeah.
you, because I think he had to hit less than a quarter of that stone.
Yeah. Nice shot.
Great shot by Mike McLean. That's going to be
Throwing that hard probably wouldn't
2
have done
points
when
for
you were
Mike
open.
McLean there, and after
got-
2
you would've
ends
got
of play,
one.
we've got a tie game. Updates from across all our sheets here today. Over on sheet M, we've got Cody Moss jumped out to a 3-0 lead on Wayne Tuck.
Yeah, hard there.
They are into the second end, and once again, they've got quite a few rocks in play.
That's the way they rolled out. The one on the button
Sebastian
didn't go
Robillard is down 2-0
like,
to
the one
Greg
didn't
Baldston.
kick over towards their back one at all, really.
I think Greg Baldston, there's a guy. I expect to see Greg into the Final Four. I
I
just
do
think
too.
that he's just one of those guys that seems to know how to make the shots under the gun.
Yeah.
Obviously, our feature game here between Mike McLean and Joe Franz, we're tied at 2. And then on sheet K, we've got Rob Retchless and Richard Krell, and they are tied at 0 after 2 ends of play. We've had 2 blank ends there. Well, Mike McLean not taking any chances after 2 ends that he gets Nate Crawford to throw one right to the top of the forefoot. And Joe's not feeling threatened, so he's just going to kind of throw up the corner guard here with Sean Harrison.
Easy. It's good now. Yeah.
Sean and his wife Lauren have definitely made curling just a big center of attention from themselves. Obviously playing and winning the Canadian Mixed Championship this year with Mike Anderson.
Yeah.
And then Lauren actually, I think she made it into the Final Four in the Women's Ontario Scotties this year as
Did.
well.
Yeah, with Heather Hegestead.
Just wait, gotta curl a bit.
Oh, yeah. No shit.
Yeah, real tight. Just over, Mike. Okay, whoa, let it sit, let it sit.
Not the best throw here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few that's sort of off the edges, right?
Corner guard for the FRANS team.
Good, eh?
Wow, that is
It's like,
for Nate. That's atrocious, you know. And then that's the challenge that they have is that if they're getting off the beaten path just a little bit, they've got to sort of pick up on the nuances of the ice and what the differences are in the weight.
Yeah.
And usually that's the front ender's job to help communicate that. Nate being the lead and being a front ender, he should have an idea what that should be. But before you throw that stone, you should have a confirmation from one of your guys that okay, here's what I'm thinking. Are you thinking the same thing?
Yeah.
gotta move a lot.
This is going to give Sean Harrison the opportunity to walk one around the corner guard here.
As soon as you can, Scott. Yep. Okay, that's good.
Just going to throw a nice hack weight, backline weight here at this. Lots of movement going to the wings.
Yep.
Kevin Lagerquist, the 27-year-old from Brampton, Ontario.
Hard. Just
They are going hard on this. And he's going to rack on the corner guard here. He may even roll for Well, Roll spills it in the rings, which is a good miss.
A bonus there, yeah.
Probably did, eh? I wasn't looking at all. I'm thinking normal. Might catch this.
Scott Foster here, the ice maker from the Oakville Curling Club.
Some of the best ice I've ever curled on.
Yeah, he's got. They've just done an incredible job making sure he's got all the right equipment to make top drawer ice.
Yeah.
But he's a smart guy though. Some good training. Gonna try and make the double takeout here and roll behind the corner guard.
Shot.
Very nice.
Oh, very nicely done.
You want to keep it up? Keep it good, eh?
Well, Kevin here is going to have to try to hit and roll either in behind his own corner guard or try to get it as close to the other rocks and try to group the rocks a little bit, so hopefully later on in the end they have an opportunity to make a double takeout. Well, he won't be happy with that because that's
right now.
yeah, that's going to give Joe the opportunity to draw in behind that corner guard and get it better situated.
No.
Clean it. Just clean it. Looks like it's going to over curl. Yeah, it's coming down hard. Hard, guys.
Okay.
Boys, just try to get this anywhere buried. And that's in a real good position. So this is the challenge for Mike McLean because he doesn't really have any angles going for himself to help himself bail out of this end.
It's getting cold.
You know, he's going to have to try to hit this, and hopefully Joe noses it, and then maybe at one point he can try to make the long roll and behind the other two stones. Jason Cam makes the nose hit, and Joe going to try and get Mike Anderson to do the same.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Good.
I thought out of my hand.
Well done, Mike Anderson. Well, does Mike McLean take a run now, or is it...
That's what I was just going to ask you, Ian. He's going to go for the long roll here?
Well, you know, you could just be shot rock totally buried, and then even if you force Joe to come down to freeze tap to it, then you can either freeze with your next one, right? And it's kind of a setup stone. But he doesn't. He seems to be content just to keep nosing this rock. Sebastian Robillard's team comes back with a big 3-under in the second end against Greg Baldston. He will lead that game 3-2. And Wayne Tuck got forced to a single point in the second end against Cody Moss. So Cody Moss will lead 3-1 with the hammer. Oh, Mike.
Just winged it out. It's sitting a little tight.
Yeah, go into the box and feel shame. You know, it's funny. You just threw it the first time, and it's not even curling that much. It's one of those shots that, you know, it's more of a weight shot than it is a, you know, a line. You just kind of gotta throw it approximately at the beacon and just throw lighter weight, and the boys can probably hold it with their brooms.
Yeah.
Play crazy tight.
Yeah, missed opportunity again for the FRANS team, but now McLean has to deal with this one.
Well, his challenge is kind of twofold. He's, you know, he can hit it on the outside and roll out, but then gives Joe the opportunity to hit and roll back, or to draw back in there.
Yeah.
Or he can even draw around the whole thing.
Yeah. I think that's what he's looking at here.
Yeah.
Looks like it's overburied, but when you get on the angle, it's pretty much straight buried.
He thinks he can get at this, Ian.
Wow, that's like Joe said. It's definitely overburied. It's sticking out the other side.
This is.
But with the guard being so long and it curling so hard to the wings, that, you know, Joe could be right. You know, if he throws hack weight here, which looks like he's throwing
Put
a.
it back. Probably close.
Never. Nate, hard.
Got by a lot, and he's still going to make the shot. But if you watch that shot, if we replay that shot, and you just watch his release,
Pretty much.
if we go back to his release, you can kind of see
Pretty much what's going to
he
do is
straightens it back
you
to the
slow it
line.
Down, right?
Yeah.
Just hit and roll over here, I guess.
Oh.
I was thinking normal-ish.
As long as the weight is.
Nose is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to roll that way a bit, because you could hit and roll under, right? Yeah. Hit stays good. I'd like to roll to the side.
Joe's not going to take any chances here. He's just going to try to either nose this or even hit. If he can hit and roll away to the opposite side of the rings here, it would. Mike McLean would be challenged to make a really big shot to get a hit and roll and get it buried.
Whoa!
Actually, for making those little board weight hits right now, this ice is really, really good.
Yeah.
Like it's the sweepers can hold them. You can just, as long as you don't soft it in, you throw it straight.
Yeah.
No, this is where we throw in that draw. It'll be straight.
Well, Mike McLean will play the hit here. Try to get the long roll, Ian.
Normal.
Make it a little harder for Joe to get his 2 points.
Well, he's got a lot of, like, to me, I would rather see a guy, you know, I would be saying to my skip, I'd say, look, you know what, the guy's getting 2 anyways.
Yeah.
I would rather see you roll out trying to make that roll than just leave it there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
I think Mike McLean is just overthrowing these a little bit, and she's not getting the same type of movement that Joe is. Joe's throwing a little quieter, and they can seem to control it a little better. So now Joe's going to have the opportunity here for get another deuce again. Just an open hit.
Clean it. Yep. Clean it.
Sean and Scott doing a good job cleaning that thing up, and that's going to be 2 points for Joe Franz. He will lead after 3 ends of play by the score of 4-2. Mary, looks like we finally got a point on the board there over on sheet K.
Yeah, it looks like Corral
was
took a
pretty
point
light,
over
though,
Reckless.
But-
1-0 over there.
Barry will take that.
Cody
It
Moss
would've
is up 3-1
punished you
on
more.
Wayne Tuck. Robillard up 3-2 on Greg Balston.
Yeah, you can get mad if he doesn't.
As we mentioned, these are all B-side games out here this morning.
That's right.
So there's going to be 4 teams, Ian, dropping down to the seaside after this game. Seems like that happened awfully quick.
Well, it's almost like you just got started, and you know, there is one seaside game this afternoon, and that will be the first elimination game. So it's almost like within 24 hours you're in and you're out.
You're out, yeah, yeah. So that might be the downside to this format, depending on how you think. You know, if you're going to be out of the competition, you might as well be out early. Or, you know, some people might think, well, I'd like to play the whole round robin and be part of this competition for the whole week.
Well, it's just, you know, it's interesting, Mary, how you know, it seems to be the year of everybody trying new formats, trying to just create maybe new interest, trying to encourage people back to the game.
Right.
You know, we've curling has, from the competitive side anyways, I know has lost quite a few curlers over the last number of years, just because, you know, it is very, very time consuming.
Yeah.
But secondly, it's you know, the Olympics has brought a different caliber of curler. You know, the days of smoking on the ice of you know, 40 years ago, you know, has changed over to buffed bodies and 4 absolute athletes out on that sheet.
Right.
You know, I think we were all privy to being at some of the tour events when some of the social activities got to be a whole lot of fun.
It did, yeah. It certainly isn't like that anymore. It is a shame, though. There's a lot of competitive players, the really good players, you know, maybe in their 30s and 40s, that have just decided they're not going to play anymore because they can't compete.
Well, that's why some of these second-tier events start to become so much more popular.
Yeah.
Like the Travelers has been a tremendous success, I think, from both a provincial and a national sense.
Yeah.
And you know, kudos to George Cook for starting that event.
Wait.
Yeah, that's a great event.
You know, but on the other side, though, like we've had huge popularity in junior events. Obviously, there's the Junior Slam Series out there that has had tremendous success.
Yeah.
You know, in the fall time, it's those are the first events to fill up, or all the junior events. So I'm encouraged in the sense that you know, the longevity of the game is in good hands, because you know, we've got a lot of kids filling the pipeline at the front end.
Right. As long as they continue to play, that's the key.
Well, retention, yeah. They all seem to go away to university, and they sort of go away from the game. Yeah. It's kind of like squash. I played squash in university and didn't play for 30 years, and I came back to it about 3 years ago, and now I'm a fanatic about it.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. When I left the game, it kind of had the small head with just the small spindle part of the racket, and now the rackets are big, they're big, and they're easier to hit. And
yeah, that's a great game, squash. Good workout.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
So we've got a pretty open end here.
They hit the broom now. I just was letting you know when he hit the broom.
Oh, gee. Oh, that's not nice.
Well, but you know what? At this level, and see, Joe's been to the Briar. You know, he's played the game at a real top level, and
He was wide.
and you know he's just trying to make him accountable and responsible for the release and how he threw the rock. You know,
Right.
Well, no, well, yeah, he had air with him.
See, that's a difference in men and women's curling, Ian. Girls could never do that to each other.
Oh no.
No.
Oh God. Trust me, if I. The minute I started throwing it bad, I had Wayne Madad rolling his eyes and turning his back and kind of
Really?
going, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Well, at this point, it looks like Mike McLean is just going to try and hopefully get the blank in here. There's not, unless Mike Anderson rolls out here, then he'd go around the corner guard. But and Joe's just as happy to burn an end here and let him blank it.
Little, yeah, you did.
You know, they had the opportunity earlier in the end, but that's when Scott Foster hit and rolled out.
Line's nice. Got room. Line's real good. Nice. Keep going. Real hard, real hard.
I'm surprised that Mike would actually go at that point. That point in the end, you know, we're down to thirds rocks. You know, if he gets it in around, does Joe follow him, or does Joe try to run and sort of hold him to 2 points, or?
So you think it's a little late in the end
Well,
to come around that?
yeah, at this point, I think it is.
Yeah.
Lots of room right now. Looks here, easy. Get ready, you might have to go for line.
Mike Anderson just going to try to throw up a guard here on his stone in the top four.
All right. Hard, hard.
Good shot, Mike.
Just showing about half the rock on the outside still.
That's what I do.
Okay. Oh, wait. I see hot.
Yeah. But I'm not, like, I think that it's probably just.
Let's throw a
what
board.
It's been. It's not like it got way faster. Yeah, for you, yeah, you need to think. See, but that's the difference between last night. That's why I was saying it was so slow. This is like normal. So like
Little tap back
for me
here.
Last night for you was probably perfect.
Close. Yep. 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 Whoa, whoa.
Jason Cam trying to make the hit and stick around, and they might be a little overzealous with the sweep there.
I'm thinking out because it's pretty easy to go cross it, right? You know what I mean?
Mary, obviously, all eyes from Ontario will be
Buried, right?
tuning in to hopefully cheer on Holly Duncan today in her tiebreaker
Yes.
game against Newfoundland at the
Yes.
Scotties out in Penticton, BC.
Just a little concerned in keeping.
Yeah, I watched a bit of that last night.
From popping out, right? So
It was
poke it
quite
that way,
exciting,
it's okay.
actually. First of all, Anderson
maybe a little more, Mike.
beat Jennifer Jones, and she got first spot in the playoff round. Yeah, so it's getting really exciting with these two, again, a new format out there with the two pools of 8 teams each.
Well, that's what I was sort of alluding to earlier. You know, we've got a new format here this year with the triple knockout. Both the Scotties and the Briar have gone to
It's curling, man. It's a curl.
16-team, 2 pools of 8, formats, which it's going to be new, interesting, and challenging just to kind of see what the outcomes of that are. Do the players like it? Do the fans like it? Do all the stakeholders that kind of like the new format?
Right.
lost his handle a bit at the end.
I would think after this this event, we'll have Steve Chenier from the OCA sort of taking on a role of surveying all the players and getting their feedback, but not only the players involved. You know, we want to hear from all the other players that that enrolled just in the qualifying events. Joe FRANS making a nice draw in there, and now Mike McLean's going to try to follow him down. And Mike looked like he tossed this thing back a little bit and gave it a little poke, so I'm not sure it's going to come back. It's trying.
All you got, Mike. Right out, right out.
Yeah, that's not a good miss by Mike McLean. Mike basically just had to get that anywhere into the anywhere in the rings, and Joe would probably have to take a run at it just to make sure that he couldn't get 2 points. Now this is going to give Joe the opportunity to lock another one right around on top of his own and possibly even steal 2 here. So big change of events. You know, you think back now to Mike's tactical call of trying to go around the corner guard.
You think of taking that hair more?
Right.
Because that one kind of lost its tail at the end, right? So it's good.
What's that?
So a big opportunity here for Joe.
Yeah, we're trying to hit it out. Hit and roll
This is
line.
when you want to put the nail in the coffin here.
Controlled up and almost got to it, eh?
Hard, guys. Gotta go. Just keep going. Hard, guys. Hard. Hard, go. Sorry, guys. Just slight.
Wow, that's unfortunate
Man.
for Joe to be late there. He gets that right in there, and he's almost has a confirmed steal of 1 point, if not 2. And now this is going to give Mike McLean the opportunity to possibly, you know, make the double takeout and roll out and blank the end.
Yeah.
Even make the double takeout and possibly get a single point.
Could have had it line better. I know they just put the head down and go, right? Like it would have been better just to let it go and stop.
Yep. Whoa!
Really close. Oh. Just misses.
Yeah.
That's going to be a steal of 1 point for Joe FRANS. So at the completion of 4 ends, Joe FRANS will lead 5-2.
The whole way, right? In hindsight, it would have been better to leave it short.
Well, Mary, one of the things that we've been talking about is obviously our format here and the triple knockout, and our good people at TSL have been working hard to bring a graphic to us to kind of show exactly how this triple knockout. So here's our B side here. Obviously, there's one team that qualifies out of A side, one team out of B side, and then 2 teams that come out of C side. So here's our B side graphic showing that obviously our game down below there, the third piece there, McLean playing FRANS. Winner of that game will play this evening up against the winner of Rob Retchless and Richard Krell. On the top side, you've got Wayne Tuck and Cody Moss, and they'll play. They're going to play the loser of one of this afternoon's games from A side. So the winner will go on, and then the 2 losers of those games and the Robillard Balson game will fall down into C side. So that's basically how how it kind of works, and obviously it's a kind of a progressive system, but every game means something.
That's for sure.
Thanks to our crew there for bringing that up to us.
That was a great graphic from our crew.
Looking across all our sheets there, Cody Moss took another 2 in the third end to jump to a 5-1 lead over Wayne Tuck. Greg Baldston gave up 3 in the second end, but rebounded with his own 3 in the third, so he leads 5-3 over Sebastian Robillard. Obviously, our feature game here on sheet L, and then we've got Richard Krell and Rob Retchless playing over there on sheet K, and they are currently Richard Krell's up 1-0 in that game, as they're looking to conclude the fourth end of play. Well, that 1 point ends up being a relatively big point for Joe Franz. Now all of a sudden he's up 3, playing the fifth end. We'll probably see them go into a little bit more of a defensive mode than they have been.
Go for line. Yep.
You know, Sean's done an incredible job with positioning of the stones. He puts his first one top 4, they throw the corner, and then obviously he gets his second stone. Just a real tight guard, which is, you know, and a guy like Mike, you know, he may want to change tactics here a little bit too. You know, sometimes one of the great things when you get a tight guard like that, it's sometimes you want to get aggressive and try to tap that thing in behind the corner guard and roll over for another corner guard. So now you get your double corner guard, and you got a rock in behind, buried behind the corner guard that you can use to freeze to.
Yep. Line only. Yep. Line only.
Nate Crawford here going much too heavy, but
still has to be dealt with though.
Well, it's buried, and it's Scott Foster going to try and wing one around and just freeze to it so it negates the stone. And even if he just taps it through, I fully expect Scott not to be light on this.
Go then. Line's good. Yep. Where are you? Okay, we're going here now. Yep. Hard. Okay, maybe we should have played hack at that. Should have just played hack. Should have just played
Normal. Like, throw it good, normal. Almost firm. Real big.
Doesn't want to roll out here.
Go on. Just better than half is good.
Well, Scott gets it in there, but now Joe's a little bit committed. You know, he's going to have to keep throwing up the guards here. It's almost they're in a position where they really don't want to be, because this is aggressive, and if they ever miss the guard in any way, shape, or form, it's going to give the opportunity for Mike McLean to get his deuce or more.
Mm-hmm.
Sit.
And that's a little tight,
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like.
Same way you threw.
Tap. I'm like, you tap it, and if you come up short, you're okay. And then you sort of like almost throw hack weight because you're in a little bit of isolated, you might freeze to it.
Hair less. Hair less.
Yeah.
Yep. Hard then. Real hard. A lot less. Hard. More. Hard.
Well, they get rid of one of them and they maintain sort of the control stone. May see Joe just try to eliminate the rock at the back of the rings here with a heavy draw, just not to get too cute.
That's real tough. Still made me think and play this.
If he's hurting, tell him.
Side or guard? I think they play this. Let him shoot. What are you thinking? No, and like there's no double, but and that tight yellow one, you can slip that in or chip it in. That's what I'm thinking. Kind of go to that back one and then see what he does. But I don't know. Well, scored. Great corner guard. You don't want to rip the center.
Well, Mary, what would you do here? What?
Oh, you know, I'm always on the defense side. Want to be getting rid of something.
Well, I don't think Mike McLean's got really good angles. I think the shot to me would be, like exactly what Joe's calling.
Yeah.
I would probably come down and just try to, backline to hack and just try to tap that stone through the rings.
Okay,
Scott Foster threw down here a couple of rocks ago, so they should know the line. They should know the weight. I expect this thing to be really close.
Line's good. Whoa. Clean it. Whoa, off now.
Mike Anderson might have a bit of a straight rock here. It's
Got to curl. Just freeze right now.
that's a good shot by Mike Anderson.
freeze.
Jason's just going to attempt to freeze onto this FRANS rock on the top of the 8-foot here.
Wait, just wait.
A little bit.
Well, I don't know if freezing it would have been got him anywhere. I think he had to try to get it behind the tee line if he could.
Yeah.
Like 2 feet heavy on this ice.
This is going to give Mike Anderson the opportunity to hit and roll inside and have Mike McLean in some trouble.
Close. Yep.
Line looks really good.
Whoa. Big roll. Keep going.
Oh, we dead sick that runs like that.
It's not going to get any more better.
Well, it's well done by Mike Anderson.
Ah.
Move the stone, mind you. Does leave a double for Mike McLean to get back under cover, partially anyways.
What turn you want?
Close.
Oh, I like the out.
Okay, just here.
Okay.
Could've-
Control.
Yeah, that's your in turn.
Okay. Yeah, this will kill.
I did take a lot less size. I could have.
Jason Kim
Close. Whoa.
Once you get in here.
Whoa.
from Rockland, Ontario. Really close to flashing this thing.
Yeah.
Well, he got them both moving, but rolls out himself.
We waited just that second too long.
Again, Jason really struggling in this game.
Can't buy a shot.
Well,
Don't know if it's the rock or it's the
the
release.
McLean team has just been a little bit challenged this game to
We're on the second earlier we made.
get any rocks in the right positions.
Yeah. Maybe not on the sweep call as soon as he could have been on that one.
Oh, come on.
Joe just going to try to wind one around here, get it into the top of the forefoot, or top of the button.
Little out.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta go for weight, boys.
Yeah, they're going to have to really go hard for weight.
Hard! Hard! Okay, whoa.
Be going pretty good on this side.
It's not bad. Like, I mean,
There's one
maybe
trying
it's
to
heavy.
be behind the blue.
Hey, we're trying to be right there.
Well, Mike's going to have to navigate through this sort of reverse port here and try to get a rock into the top of the button himself.
Knock it in there. Yep.
Just afraid to hit it too early, right?
Don't throw it.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same as going down that way.
Line's a little tight.
Yep.
Should be close. Yep. Yeah, line.
Just wait. Put the weight.
Gotta go line. Okay, line's good. Stay close, Kev. Yep. Yep. Oh.
And this is just winding right in here.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Okay.
Well, a lot deeper than he would have liked. It's going to give Joe the opportunity to just follow him down.
I could throw into it, but I have to go too wide there. I'm thinking that way.
Well, it's interesting here because they, you know, Joe's going to want to try to get this thing right to the top of the button, so there's no, you know, because there's some doubles off some outside stones here that Mike could definitely use to try to get his second point. We got Joe at 408 for backline to hog here.
Hard line. Gotta go line.
It's really moving.
Hard.
We're going to go hard to get it.
Hard.
Just gets by.
Great scrubbing by Scott Foster there.
Wow, that is so much faster. That's like 10 feet faster there. Yeah.
Watch these guys scrubbing it hard to get it past this guard here. Look at this, and he just hairs it by the guard. Well swept. So now it's this is kind of one of those moments in the game where you're making a decision. You know, it's only the fifth end of the game. Do you take a single point and you're down two without the hammer, or do you try to make some form of a big shot and try to get your deuce here?
Not sure. Is there a big shot here for 2 points, Ian?
You go for some double, but there's nothing very easy.
Well, it'd be a really thin double, and the odds are very slim, right off the outside top blue.
Yeah, so I think he's just going to take his point here.
Yep.
He's just going to try to follow down his the first draw that he threw and the draw that Joe just threw.
Line's good. A little wider
Well, I
back.
got him at 387, which is a little bit more than what obviously what Joe threw, but you're not sure what the differences are in the two sliders.
Line's
Yeah.
good. Okay. Line's good. We're not on the blue yet. We're almost on. And we're on. Good. One.
Well done by Mike McLean to score his single point here in the fifth end of play. The end of 5 ends. Joe FRANS 5, Mike McLean 3.
We out for 5?
Here we are back, live on Title Sports Live, up at the Canada Summit Centre in Huntsville, Ontario, for the men's Recharge with Milk Tankard. Our feature game here this morning has got Mike McLean from Ottawa up against Joe FRANS from the Oakville Curling Club. Joe FRANS leading 5-3.
Yeah, Joe's been in full control of this game, Ian, right from the get-go.
Well, he just stole one there, which, Mike just got his single point. So Joe's up 2 with the hammer.
Yeah.
I think he'll go on the offense here, try to make sure that he can always score his single point.
Keep her going, keep her going. That's good, that's good.
Nate Crawford here, being asked, I don't know if he's going to, is he going right in or is he going to throw the double center?
Just wait.
Did not see the call. They're going for the double center.
Halfway. Yeah, just leave it.
Try to get as much separation in these 2 guards as possible.
Good.
Well, they've got nothing
Like
to lose at this point. You're down 2. You don't have the hammer. You're extremely vulnerable. So you need rocks in play because you need angles.
Yeah.
It was less than the first one, but
Joe's just going to get Sean Harrison here. The Newmarket native, just to throw it out, turn draw, right around to the top 4 foot.
Watch it, it's a little wider. Watch it. Stay close, yep. A little bit of room still. Looks like it's getting light. Yep. Hard. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, something happened there where it
There we go. There's the best.
it seemed to grab up. Well, for Joe wanting to play a pretty elementary end, it's getting complicating real quick.
Because the sweepers were still standing at the other hog line?
not the most effective.
So for Mike McLean, pretty good situation here.
Yep, hard good.
Well, if Kevin Lager, of course, can warp one around here and get it into the top of the button, it may take Joe FRANS a couple of stones to kind of try to get to it. Wow. Well swept, well judged, very well thrown. Very well for Kevin. So I'm not sure I'm a fan of this call right here. He's trying to get both of those rocks. I think if he, I would be walking up and trying to make the double peel, and you may even get the triple.
Hard! Hard!
Well, Scott throwing that one a little bit tight. Scott plays on my Thursday night men's league team down in Oakville.
Yeah.
His out turn, he likes to kind of over the top just a little bit.
Uh-huh. Are you the skipper on that team, Ian?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice, just wait. Stop, it's a deep pass. Oop, that's it.
Kevin Lagerquist throwing the guard here. He's trying to double guard this again. Hopefully a little deeper than he would have liked.
Good. Okay.
It's going to give Scott the second run at this. I expect Scott to be really close on this one. I think the sight lines are a little easier now. He's got a couple of rocks in around, so it kind of, visually when you're looking at the rock down the ice, so where you need to hit it.
Right.
Well, he hooked his first one, and so this one he self-corrects himself and he puts it back.
So Jason Cam's going to put up another center line guard here. That rock they have in the house is in a really good position for stealing.
Just wait.
Well, I know Scott won't be happy with those two attempts. Obviously giving Jason Cam the opportunity to throw up another long double center. See if Mike Anderson can clean up their mess.
Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Hard.
Really close.
Oh,
What a great shot by Mike Anderson.
Beautiful shot.
Even Scott Foster calling for some applause there. That was a fantastic shot.
That was.
Maybe our boys can find the replay on that. There he goes. Hit it eyes side. Just get enough of the rock on the button. You know, for Jason Cam, you know, I'm sure he would have loved his guard to be another 3 or 4 feet higher.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there still is a FRANS stone out there that they can use and get buried into the 4-foot here.
Real hard. Okay, whoa.
Well, I'm just curious if Joe would switch gears here and go on the offense if he's going to.
Get up. About a quarter. Quarter. Or less.
I think it probably ended up 12, but it looked like you were up so late. I think it's just down the floor.
Deal.
It's just. Whoa, that's good though. Like that's
Right off.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, in Joe's attempt to be defensive and eliminate 2 of the guards and maybe even get the little carom through, instead he leaves his own center guard. I don't think he's going to be happy with that miss.
Yeah.
This is going to give Mike McLean the opportunity to throw the in-turn, draw around to the top button.
Get a touch more ice and what?
Hopefully get back in position to steal a point.
Fight top floor. It's all about.
Sweeper's not looking at this one. Trying to get some curl here now.
Whoa.
Oh, well swept,
Gee, that's-
well judged.
They run that back, I guess.
So here is how I think the game has changed and evolved in the last 30 years. Is that, you know, in my day when I played with Eddie Wernick back in 1990, Eddie would look at this situation. He'd try to tap that center rock in behind the corner guard and sort of roll away. and say, fine, you put the guard up again, and then I'll probably come and throw a little hack weight or a back line, come around, tap it, and hopefully get my 2 points that way.
Right.
In this day and age, these guys throw it so hard and so accurate that trying to make the little run back here is kind of like making an open hit.
Yeah, you're right. With the men's game especially, you're right. These run backs are just open hits for these guys now. They make them time and time again.
Yeah, they're just hoping to throw it nice and clean, nice clean release, throw it really straight, and boom boom. All of a sudden, you're buried and and you didn't have to play you didn't have to manufacture a shot.
Right.
Be a little higher.
Now, Eddie Wernick was a very unique player in that he was so good with those soft shots.
Eddie was a magician.
He sure was.
He was the king of smoke and mirrors. Just a little bit more smoke, angle the mirrors a little bit more, and he had you in trouble.
Yeah.
Wow, this one now over curls and comes out the other side, and probably going to give Joe the opportunity to throw a high hard one and just kind of pick this out and blank the end.
I can see a good quarter of it. I could probably play with board or something.
Put a lot more.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, you can see about half of this rock. Not quite, maybe.
Thinking boardish, and if we stick, we stick.
Trying to make this peel out to blank the end. Looks really good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Well swept by the boys, well thrown by Joe FRANS. So we'll have a blank here in the sixth end of play. Joe will retain that hammer. 2 up with, playing the seventh end.
Just looking at our other sheets here, we've got a score of 2-1 with Krell over Retchless. In our Robillard and Balston game, and Balston is up 1 on Robillard. And Cody Moss took a 3-point there in the fifth end, and he's now up 8-3 on Team Tuck.
He's going to blow that game wide open.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
I'm sure Wayne's probably asking themselves, what did they do wrong? What did they do differently? Because last year they've had such a successful season, getting down to the finals.
Right.
They had a really good run out there in Coburg. And, I was teasing him there back a month ago, kind of saying that, he was a preeminent favorite to kind of go through the challenge round because I fully expected them to win that and get here.
Right.
RJ. Got.
Line's good. Close for line, it's picking. Oh.
Sean Harrison here trying to warp one around.
Let it go. Coming out the other side.
There's not a whole lot of rotation on this rock from Sean. It's going to pop out the other side here.
Okay. It's going sideways.
And quite a bit heavy.
Well, that's what happened. Interestingly, you think back to some of the Chinese teams when they first started coming in, like Betty Wang.
Mm-hmm.
She always had really slow handle on her stones, and And for any of the Canadian teams to try to follow her down, they couldn't do it because she had such a slow handle. You know, her rocks would curl about a foot more than anybody else.
Right.
What problem is that with that slow handle, they almost become uncontrollable.
Yeah, you can't control them. I'd rather see too much rotation than not enough. And on this arena ice is where you really need to make sure you put a good rotation on your rock.
Well, let's say there's an optimum rotation.
Line's good.
You know, it's
Stay close.
It's you know, that you want to be in that range where it's really controllable and readable.
Right.
You know, I know back in our day of playing on different ice conditions, you had to try to be able to control sort of the number of rotations you put on your rock. Because you know, you think of the Welton Beauchamp spiel that we used to play in Ottawa, that you'd play on some different ice conditions there, and like I can remember City View and places like that where, you know, the ice was a little bit straighter and you needed to be able to throw a slow handle to try to get it buried in certain places.
Yeah.
And then earlier in, like even our game yesterday, the ice was a little straighter in spots. You know, but I think as the ice makers kind of got control of the building and the temperatures, you know, as the game went on, the ice got better and better. It was really quick. And every day that they get their hands on this ice and they're able to you know, scrape it down, the ice will get better and better. It's like we're getting great movement here to the center here, and speed seems to be very, very consistent.
Great shot. Sweet.
Yeah, Joe's not happy with both Sean Harrison's rocks being behind the tee line, and you know, you got the double center, and now Mike McLean's got one buried, so it's going to give Scott Foster the opportunity here to try to clean up some of the mess. Kind of pinch that one back a little bit.
Nate, if you can. Whoa, okay then, whoa then. That's it.
Mike's just asking Kevin Lagerquist here to try to replace that center guard. Does a really good job, makes it nice and high and directly in line, so it's extremely difficult to double peel. Joe just going to make the double peel, knowing the single peel. Sorry, that knowing that double peel is really tough to make without possibility of nosing it.
Right. Our school kids over here, Ian, they're being pretty quiet actually. I thought we'd be hearing a lot of noise over here today.
Very well disciplined up here in Huntsville.
They have a good principal, I guess.
And Peggy Barrett bringing 4 different schools here, 4, 5s, and 6s from the VK Greer Public School, Riverside Public School, Pine Glen Public School, and Spruce Glen Public School. So a big shout out to all of them, and unfortunately the kids from Huntsville Public School couldn't join them, but they're probably busy actually getting educated.
Oh, come on, this is an education right here.
That's great to get the kids involved. Obviously, starting with the floor curling and the. I know Chad McMullen and his crew doing the rocks and rings, traveling around from schools to school. Oh, great shot by Mike Anderson here, making the double peel and opening this up. And here's where Mike McLean's got to be really careful, because you know, if any one of these guards over curls, it's going to give Joe the opportunity to pick that stone out and possibly lay 3. And at that point, it you know, may blow this game right open. And
Yeah, I think Mike McLean has no choice at this point. He's going to try to put up the perfect guard here.
Yep.
But as you say, one little mistake and Joe can sit three points in here with hammer.
Well,
That might be the chance here, depending on what Joe wants to
You
do.
want to play this?
yeah, he's kind of.
Hack.
You can kind of see like just under half the stone. He's going to kind of go after it with what they call hack weight, which is weight just through the rings, and try to tap this through and save his throwing stone.
Pretty similar. Yeah, it might be.
Close. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Looks heavy. Whoa.
Like 4 inches more. 4
Clean
inches.
it. Clean it. Yep. Whoa.
Oh, what a shot by Mike
That was a
Anderson!
great
Did it
shot.
make that shot and stay partially buried? That's a game-winning. Could be a game-winning shot right there. This is forcing Mike McLean. He doesn't have any good angles.
Pretty good.
He can warp one around and try to get it frozen there at the back of the forefoot, which is his only shot right now. But it's going to give Joe the opportunity to come down and freeze on top of him and or sort of tap his own up.
Right.
Yeah, that was the first call. I was sketchy that it was going to run a little straight. I didn't want to be too aggressive with it. I ended up waiting too long.
397, backline to Hogg. We'll see where this.
They throw spinny guns, don't curl as much.
Going for line here.
Yep. Hard.
They just don't want to touch this rock on the
Yeah.
top, just
They're
top
gonna.
of the forefoot.
Trying to nose it.
Yeah, that's going to give.
Yeah, they're coming off like crazy. Pretty perfect weight. Yeah.
What's that?
Going to give Joe the chance
No, it's
to
just
probably
his
play a
ball
hack
roll in
weight or
there and then they can nose it. What? Oh yeah, I guess if we roll to there. What's that? Or we're just thinking nose. Oh no, we're talking about his shot. I never even looked at that. But that's an option. But
so when these guys are processing their
hack?
decision making here,
Enough?
they're usually looking at what the other team's only options are for a shot, and they're trying to take that away. And in this case, Mike McLean may not have anything but some sort of hit or hard hit to get in the and try to get to the inside.
Well, no, but that weight was like we needed this recall.
Stay close. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
Ooh, this thing, they might have overcooked this thing. He may jam this thing now. Oh. That was
I was expecting a little more than that. Wow. Guess I should have hit it all the way.
Joe just a little shocked that didn't curl more.
Wow, for Mike McLean, it's like they just got let off the hook here. They were not in good position, and now Joe's kind of
So, I mean, that's good news.
giving them the opportunity here to,
Not too bad.
if he gets in a sinks one around here and
Right
top
there
of
with
the,
would have been better.
just biting the top of the forefoot, Joe FRANS may not have any other alternative but to, play a run-in slash here or even just a tap.
I want to
Yeah.
something that's shot already.
He certainly isn't going to be happy about throwing against two here, being up 2 points with.
Or draw. yeah, I would prefer to play the outside.
Really needs this rock. Good placement here.
Just wait.
Really put the pressure on Joe.
Partly what he doesn't want to do is get too deep, and then Joe may have the slash in double for extra points.
Yeah, I got to throw out turn at it. So just tap it.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm really surprised.
Like, that's
I'd be
almost
throwing,
the same ice
if I was Joe, I'd be throwing,
right?
it's a half rock, and
I'm
he's,
just going to play it
he's
kind
got,
of for one. If we move it far enough, fine. Right? So,
You like the slash?
oh,
Ian?
yeah, all day.
Yeah.
Because he's just got to get any piece of that top one, and then he gets the second one, and he saves the shooter, even if his shooter saves that stationary
you think it
stone.
was a little strong, maybe? I'm planning, I've taken almost the same ice, so I was thinking just back 8. You think that's, well, that's what I mean. I'm, like, you go a little wider, you might get a better track to curls. Yeah, I'm thinking, but I'm thinking.
Because there's no real hole to hit that through,
I'm
right?
more concerned about getting the line.
Is there a hole there?
But do you still take
There,
more
guys.
ice then,
Okay,
maybe?
so they're showing both ends. We
Right
get to
there.
listen to them.
Look at that, eh?
I think the speed's still pretty good here.
Our TSL crew's doing a heck of a job with the graphics here.
Well, this is the shot Joe has chosen to play. The tap back for one.
Well, the problem is that the challenge here is if he misses this, he's tight to the guard. If he misses it, it's a steal of 2, and they're back in the game. Can he make the soft double here?
Let her go, let her curl, let her curl, let her curl.
Can he make the soft double here? Wow.
He does.
That's a soft double for 2.
2.
Jeez, what did I know? That's a heck of a shot by Joe FRANS to get 2 points and jump into a commanding 7-3 lead.
Almost take more ice and you're better off. And it's just,
Well controlled here. Our crew's bringing up our replay. Really nice weight. Really well swept.
Maybe it could have thrown the same weight and done the same thing. It's hard to tell. Right? Out there? I don't know.
Well done, Mr. FRANS.
This is so late, eh? It's like you get any more weight. I'm like, you know.
Well, you know, Ian and Mike McLean had some chances there again, and you know that last draw of his just going a little too deep, and you know not even bringing the sweepers into play there on that one.
If he would had that rock 6 or 8 inches higher,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that shot's there.
Right. Yeah.
I can't complain. It's just, you know, I just wasn't
Just
sure.
seeing a little bit of struggle with a lot of the teams so far. I don't know, maybe it is the fact that it's arena ice, but just controlling the draw weight. A lot of rocks slipping behind the tee line.
A couple feet less weight makes a big difference.
Well, I think when you get in an arena ice, we know it's a little bit quicker. You're very conducive to sweeping, so you know you just have to think of where your tolerance needs to be as to the miss. Like, is it light? Is it heavy? And I think everybody's missing on that tolerance side. So into the eighth end of play here. Mike McLean will have the hammer back, but trail by 4. Trying to get Nate Crawford to throw up the corner guard here so they can start mounting some sort of offense. The last thing you want to do is hog this. Oh my God, they're going hard. And it needs to be completely across the line, which that will hog. So that will negate any real guaranteed guards up front, because Joe will get Sean Harrison here to throw another one in the rings, and then I'm sure Mike will throw the corner guard, and then the peeling will begin.
That's right.
Updates from across all our sheets here this morning.
Close.
Sheet M here of our Recharge with Milk men's
really
tankard. Sheets are MILK. So on sheet M, we've got
Not going through, is it?
Wayne Tuck came back with 2 points and now trails 8-5 after 6 ends of play.
Okay.
Greg Baldson stole another point, and so he's up 7-5 over Sebastian Robillard. Our feature game at 7-3 for Joe Franz, and on the outside K sheet, we've got Richard Krell has stolen a point to go up 3-1 after 6 ends of play up against Rob Retchless.
Yep, Kevin. Up, swing. Real high. Okay.
Coming right off now.
And the peeling will begin here now for the Franz team.
Whoa. Whoa.
Lane.
Lane.
Doesn't really matter.
That's a quite
Okay,
a delivery.
I'll give Kev out here.
I can see his
how
back
that goes.
leg kicking around, swinging around.
Just wait. Wow, it's falling off the sheet.
Wow,
worry about it.
Kevin Lagerquist, I'm not sure
corner.
what happened when he went to release that.
Right. They found the end of the curl. Either. End's okay. Or real tight. What does it matter?
So Joe's not even going to bother with that guard that just slipped over the hog line.
Well,
I think he deems it
he could
useless.
he could try to peel it, but I think anything that if he gets anything buried behind it, I might
Where, are you going
expect
around
Mike
it,
McLean
maybe?
to
Yep.
try to maybe establish a different
easy.
another guard
Yep.
buried behind it.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Can you go real deep, man? No, just go. Let her go, I guess. Okay, that's
The
terrible.
last thing they want to, yeah, that's terrible, Joe. The last thing you want to do is go deep.
So the 4 teams that are not out here today, Epping, Bice, Howard, and Keene, they all remain in the A side of this competition.
They'll be in action this afternoon at 2:30,
Yeah, we're going to
right here on Title Sports Live.
Epping will be up against Bice, and Keene will be up against Howard. And that would be the A semifinal.
Yeah. Hard.
Semifinals.
Hard. Back 4.
Where is it? Do we go right here? Or around? No, right around. Yep, right around it. Keep going, we're by. Keep going. Hard. Hard, Jake. Hard. Oh, there we go. Use that guard. Down the end of the curl.
What turn you like? What turn? Nose.
Great shot by Kevin Lagerquist to get one in there, and now I'm going to force Mike Anderson to play a run back. Oh, God.
Close.
It's real close.
Yep. Whoa. Shot.
That is an excellent shot by Mike Anderson. It gets rid of the trouble stone that was in the back of the 8-foot there.
Okay.
And I don't know if that that rock is still biting over there on the...
I think it might be, yeah. Playing a little tap back on this top 8 rock of Joe Franz.
Stay close. Hit it thin, Mike.
Yep. Whoa.
Just like to pop it back behind the tee line. Joe will try to get it right out. Nice shot.
Well, taps it a little bit too far because I think he would rather have had those two blue stones sort of, parallel to one another in behind the tee line, just so there's no staggered angles, and that's what's going on here. There's some staggered angles.
Whoa!
Mike Anderson will probably just try to peel this thing out.
Whoa!
If he doesn't.
I guess yeah would have been the call.
Well, he gets a little lucky break, and it
yeah,
caroms off that back
Very
stone.
important to me.
Yep.
Hurt your body? Yeah. Like what did you do? Back? Groin? Like somewhere over here? We got to call it a hit.
Yep. Yep. Hard line. Hard then.
Yeah.
We lost this
Just,
spot.
yeah, it's just dying there.
Get this
Whoa,
spot.
whoa, 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 whoa.
No, we lost
That's-
that spot.
I think so. Yeah, we can hang on over there, but no.
Yeah.
This will curl a little bit here.
Slide pop.
Yeah.
Joe not going to take any chances, even though he's laying two right now.
Peel it off.
Just going to try to peel this thing off, even if he hits and rolls the other side of the rings. There's no real setup here for Mike.
Last, Mike.
Mike McLean's going to have to try to make a perfect freeze, and hopefully Joe cannot remove it from
Right.
play. Oh, and Joe making that disappear, which was his first order of business.
Yeah, I got down there and I was like, there's air there. Let's at least start on the rock.
What's that? Yeah. 6 feet slower?
Great facility up here, Mary, up in Huntsville, Ontario. This Canada Summit Center,
Beautiful facility, actually.
obviously built for our the G8.
The G8 Summit, yeah, back in 2010. All the world leaders were here. I recall that going on. 7 or 8 years ago. Mike just a little short on that.
We're sitting.
Well, I think Joe's still laying two, and there's no real double takeout, and there's no real angles there. I suspect that Joe might even place a stone on the other side of the 4 foot, or even the other side of the 8 foot.
Somewhere in here, make it hard to draw.
Yeah, there's no danger of giving Mike 2 points here, so
Yeah,
he just
like
has to
right there.
put a third rock in the
Yeah, we'll
house.
throw the outer and so it curls across. Edge of the 8. Yeah, look at it. If I was a little heavy to hook in. So that turns a better call.
That's awesome.
Like we're good if I don't throw right now.
Like Joe said, there's no real angles for Mike to probably get more than a single point.
Come around the outside of that.
And the only thing he could do is put it in a position where he might be able to make a triple knock, get a triple takeout.
Right.
That's what he's trying to avoid.
Looks heavy. It'll be over there. Let her die. Okay.
Well, Mike McLean having no alternative but to make a lightweight takeout here and hang around the 4 foot, or at least better than full 8 foot, and secure his single point here.
I would have liked to make him play something harder.
Keep the brooms clean in this.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, keep the broom down right in my hand.
Good looking shot coming down here by Mike McLean. And they're just doing a little heavy dust here on it. Oh, wow.
Okay, Mike. Okay. They made the double on the back one.
Well, that's going to be a steal of a single point for Joe FRANS here. He will add another to his score. He lead 8-3 after 8 ends of play. That was kind of uncharacteristic because they kind of dusted that the whole way down, expecting it to break in there, Mary.
Yeah, that was a little surprising.
Jay!
I think they're deciding here whether to shake hands or not.
You can make the call. You're the skip.
Wow, there you have it. Mike McLean deciding to concede this game, and so that will be a final score here between Joe FRANS and Mike McLean. Joe FRANS will advance in the B section, and Mike McLean will fall down onto the C side of our triple knockout.
Good game, yeah, good luck, eh? Good game, good luck.
Yes, and that will conclude our feature game here today with a final score of 8-3. With Joe FRANS beating Mike McLean. And on behalf of the entire TSL crew, we thank you for joining us. Come and watch us today at 2:30 in the afternoon, where we're going to be showing Draw 4, which, Ian, I think it's going to be a seaside game.
Yeah, I believe it will be. We'll have to have a little chat to see what we can have, but so that is our final here this afternoon between Joe FRANS and Mike McLean. So we thank you for tuning in to Title Sports Live at the men's Recharge with Milk Tankard in Huntsville, Ontario.